And again with our friend Giulio Bagnale from Basilicata, and we are actually the extreme south of Italy, just straight on south. Basilicata is a really lost region, like Molise is like the Nebraska or the Utah of Italy. You know, people usually don't go there, and it's far away from any possible tourist map. And I like to discover these places because usually the places surprise you more. First of all, you have the nicest people ever there because there are people that are incredibly welcoming, and they really care about their land. They're really proud of it, and they're really proud about their tradition. And when you go to Tuscany, maybe you might actually find people that are more spoiled, you know, in Langhe, in Piedmont, for example, you know, people are, you know, like this. They are not always so welcoming because they are too famous, probably. The land costs a lot there. And Giulio Bagnale is an incredible person. I already spoke about this guy in the last video when, you know, if you were a member last year. Because what he's doing with not just with this winery, what his job is incredible. He is part of an association that is helping people with mental disease and physical problems, and the way they all work together in this community, harvesting, making the wine and making the cheese and helping with horses and stuff, paid. And so the idea is to, you know, create a community of people that are, you know, they are considered by the society sometimes useless. And the way he's actually putting all this group together, he is actually the vice president of a national association that is helping these people. This is besides to see the human factor. On the other hand, he's helping all the locals to welcome the tourists to visit all the archaeological and natural beautiful things that you have around the Vulture, which is a volcano, which has a 1,500 meters tall. It's actually it's not a lively volcano, but there is a volcanic soil, and there are some beautiful churches there. One of them is from 12th to 13th century, and there are frescoes. You'll see it on the video. That are incredible. And so we started to visit. You know, we started our visit visiting these beautiful frescoes from the 12th century, and actually there is a link with wine because I didn't even know the Basilicata at that time, mainly because after Federico II, which was the king of Germany, that conquered Italy, he was the one that was able to connect the three religions with Castel del Monte, you know, the Jewish culture, the Catholic culture, and the Muslim culture. And also a lot of monks started to come in south of Italy, and they create a community from all over. And it's interesting how these frescoes are actually matching the Orthodox culture with the German and Northern culture, and how this is linked with wine, because most of the monks actually brought all the techniques how to go back to the vineyards, a technique that they were lost after the collapse of the Roman Empire. And so Aglianico, which is an older tradition, Aglianico comes from Hellenico, which means Greek. So we're actually talking about a wine that probably has more than 2,800 years old, that was somehow rediscovered in the 13th century, and now is coming back, mainly because of guys like Giulio Bagnale. The problem is that most of these winemakers in the 90s transformed Aglianico in something really heavy. They tried to imitate a bit the bolder wines of Napa Valley or the new trend of Bordeaux, or the Super Tuscan, and I think they did a big mistake because Aglianico is really tannic, and so when you overlap with wood and tannins, it actually makes the wine a bit too heavy, in my opinion. So the idea of these guys to recreate the concept of the old Aglianico, making a rosé that is not the usual rosé as we know it, you know, and it's not the easy drinking rosé, but it's coming from a grape variety that is incredibly complex with a strong tannic texture. So you will have the structure of the red wine with the elegance and the lightness of a white wine. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful type of wine with the nice spicy notes. You can get a bit of a volcanic soil also on the nose. It's not really fruity, maybe a little of a sour cherry. And on the palate is actually strongly fulfilling it without making your palate flat, which is what I like. It's a lively palate. It gives you a bit of energy. This is a wine that have to go with some raw meat, with tartare, fillet steak completely raw, or you can even go with some with some grilled vegetables, I would say.
Покрови заступнице, надеждо ненадежны, радуйся, не